So, think about this for a second. Every single day, a super valuable resource just goes straight down the drain in most of our homes, and we don't even think twice about it. In this explainer, we're going to talk about how to take that water from your daily shower and turn it into something amazing for your garden. I mean, who hasn't done this, right? You're standing in the shower and you're just watching all that warm, perfectly good water swirl right down the drain. It feels like such a waste, especially when you think about how precious water is becoming. It really is a huge missed opportunity. And that's where this idea from permaculture comes in, and it's a big one. Water is sacred. The water that's flowing through our homes, it's not just waste. You can think of it as a kind of stored energy, something we can catch and reuse. So let's get into exactly how we can do that. Okay, so before we even dream about building anything, we gotta get the basics down. And the most important thing to wrap your head around is the difference between the two main kinds of wastewater that leave your house. All right, first up, let's talk about the hero of our story, gray water. This is all that gently used water from your showers, your tubs, and your bathroom sinks. Just think about it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of soap in it, maybe some dirt or hair, but it is far from useless. If you handle it the right way, it's basically free irrigation water, already packaged up and ready to go. And this is where things get really, really important. Gray water is our resource. Black water? That's a hazard. And you gotta notice this key detail here. Your kitchen sink? That's considered black water. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's because all those little food scraps and all that grease create the perfect breeding ground for some really nasty bacteria. So the takeaway here is crystal clear. You never use black water in a DIY system, period. So what we're really trying to do here is create a simple little detour. Instead of sending all that good shower water straight to the sewer, we're gonna reroute it, and we're sending it to the best natural filter on the planet, the living soil in your very own garden. Okay, so we know which water we can use. Now we've got to cover the absolute non-negotiables. Think of these 3 golden rules as your safety checklist. They're what's gonna make sure your system helps your garden grow and keeps everyone safe and healthy. Rule number 1 is all about what you're putting into the water in the first place. You see, a lot of standard soaps and detergents have tons of salt and boron, and that stuff can build up in your soil and really harm your plants over time. But the fix? It's super simple. Just switch to biodegradable, plant-friendly products. Liquid Castile soap is a fantastic option, and it's pretty easy to find. All right, rule number 2 is an absolute. You can't fudge this one. Never store gray water. I mean it. It's full of all this organic stuff that bacteria just love to eat, and if you let it sit around, you are basically throwing a party for germs. And here's the science behind it. In just a day or two, like 24 to 48 hours, those bacteria will gobble up all the oxygen in that water. It goes anaerobic, turns this nasty black color, and starts to smell, well, let's just say it smells really bad. A good system avoids this whole mess by sending the water straight from your shower to the soil. No pit stops. And finally, we have rule number 3. You've got to be smart about where this water ends up. Look, gray water isn't sterile, right? So you never want it splashing onto the parts of plants you're gonna eat raw. It's absolutely perfect for watering the roots of your fruit trees or berry bushes, but you've got to avoid using it on things like carrots or lettuce, any root vegetables or leafy greens, where the water could actually touch the food itself. Okay, safety rules are covered. Now we can finally get to the fun part, the actual hardware. We're gonna walk through a really simple, super effective gravity-fed design. But first, and this is a big one, a disclaimer. Always, and I mean always, check your local building and plumbing codes before you start cutting into any pipes. Seriously. So, a simple system like this really only has 3 main parts. First, you've got the diverter valve. This thing is like a control switch. It lets you decide where the water goes, either to your garden, or if you're using some harsh cleaning chemicals that day, you can flip it and send the water back to the sewer. From there, the water flows out through a nice, wide, rigid pipe. And listen, you cannot use a regular garden hose for this. It will clog up with hair and soap scum like instantly. Finally, that main pipe splits off into smaller branches, and that's how you get the water spread out evenly to all your different plants. So the water's made it outside, now what? You can't just let it puddle up on the ground, that's a big no-no. It has to get into the soil so it can be filtered properly. And the solution for this is just beautifully simple. What you're looking at is a mulch basin, and it's so easy to make. You just dig a shallow little trench, kind of like a C shape, around a tree. Then you fill that trench with what is basically a big sponge of coarse wood chips. The end of your gray water pipe goes right inside this basin, usually hidden under an overturned pot or something. So when you take a shower, the basin fills up, the mulch immediately soaks up all that water, and it slowly seeps down to the tree's roots. You get no pooling, no smell, and no risk of anyone touching the water. You know, when you really look at it, putting in a system like this is so much more than just a weekend project. It's a fundamental shift in how you see the resources that are flowing through your life every single day. I mean, the logic here is just incredibly smart. Think about it. We usually pay to have clean water piped into our house, and then we pay again to have our used water piped away and treated as sewage. A Greywater system, it gives you a second, super valuable use for that water before it even leaves your property. You're using your water twice. And the rewards, they ripple out way beyond just your own yard. You're actually reducing the strain on your city's sewage systems. And you're giving your garden this consistent, almost drought-proof supply of water, which makes it so much more resilient. The end result? A beautiful, lush landscape that's literally powered by something you used to just throw away. When it comes down to it, a project like this is really about training ourselves to see value where we used to just see waste. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What other waste in your daily life is actually a resource just waiting to be discovered?